In the upcoming video, I will show you how to build furniture or houses that others might find pleasing to the eye, and they will think that it costs like way more than it actually costs. It will worth more, maybe 10, 20, or even like 30% more. And I want to show you like what's the secret behind it. If you like really put the time and you spend like a few minutes, not more than a few minutes, to think about some things that are proven and are working for millennia, then probably the thing that you build will be good. If you watch this video, you will be able to spend like maybe 1 or 2 minutes or a project, let's say 3 minutes, you will be able to do better than like 99% of the persons. And I give you a challenge. Like after you watch the video, you will be able to literally outsmart everybody. And I tell you why, because nobody is using it. And if I give you like this simple trick, that you already kind of know, but you will implement it like way easier, then you will be able to measure actually the results. And I will give you a task to do it. If you will watch it, you will be able to do way better, and everybody will choose your product or like your house or your like design compared to other products that are on the market. And afterwards, when you have that proportion right, afterwards you start to think about like the textures, the colors, the contrast. Put it in a gray background, a gray object, because that's the most boring thing. And even so, if it's not popping up there and it's not like, whoa, I like it, then the object, no matter what you do, it won't be like a home run. It will be okay, best case scenario, but I challenge you to do so. You will get away with like not the best textures, you will get away with cheap materials. I will show you how to build furniture or houses that others might find pleasing to the eye, and they will think that it costs like way more than it actually costs. It will worth more, maybe 10, 20, or even like 30% more, because everybody will like it and everybody will say, oh, I love it. And they won't know why, and I want to show you like what's the secret behind it. I wanted to see if I can get away like making a kitsch, like putting uh, these ladies from stone there and some bushes. And I wanted to say if I put like the sculptures and like bushes and I put some golden ratios, can I make it like look fancy but get away with it, like because it's like a borderline kitsch and not, but I said if I make it like really simple and I put the golden ratio in it, will it be like a thing that will have a value or it look great? And I think I'm not telling like that's the best project, because probably the designing part it was like 5 minutes on my part, and I just wanted to say like if you like really good, if you like really put the time and you spend like a few minutes, not more than a few minutes, to think about some things that are proven and are working for millennia, then probably the thing that you build will be good. And I use it for the house as well. It's actually the house that I put in like randomly in the garden, because if you think about it, it has nothing to do with the garden. Before the pandemics, I made the calculations. It costed like $12,000 to be at it, and afterwards the prices went crazy. But probably it will be like a 16,000 euros, like 160 euros to be at it. So I will have the plans in a few months. Probably I will put them up, and it will be like ready to download or something if you want to be at it. But the main idea was that if you respect the ratios, you can get wrong. And I don't say like you shouldn't be creative, you shouldn't be your touch in the project, or you should copy like 1 plus 1 is 2. But I'm telling, if you want to break the rules, first learn them. So it would be better to first master something that kind of works, and afterwards that you master it. And that was the project. And don't judge it like, oh, you like it or you don't like it and it's beautiful or not. The idea is, I spent it like 3 minutes on it, and it's not my talent, it's not my touch in it. I just put like a bush, a golden ratio. Then I calculated, some distances, and I put the sculpture. So that's it. And I don't want to get into that idea how to make the calculations, because it's really simple. Let's say the golden ratio, if you don't know what it is, I will explain it like in a second. If you watch this video, you will be able to spend like maybe 1 or 2 minutes or a project, let's say 3 minutes, on whatever projects you build. Might it be like a furniture, might it be like a real estate or any other object, it doesn't matter, but in like 3 minutes, you will be able to do better than like 99% of the persons. And it's about the golden ratio. my problem is here, like nobody uses it. And I don't want to say like, hey, you should use it all the time and that's the rule. I'm just telling first, to break the rules, you should learn the rules. And I wanted to prove you that, and I give you a challenge. Like after you watch the video, you will be able to literally like outsmart everybody. And I tell you why, because nobody is using it. And if I give you like this simple trick, that you already kind of know, but you will implement it like way, way, way easier because the odds are you never did before. Then you will be able to measure actually the results. And I will give you a task to do it. It's like an easy task to do something with your own methods. Use this method and make like a speed test and give it to your friends. Give it to the I don't know, put on the website if you have one, and you'll see like the click-through rates, like everybody will click more and more on it, and everybody will like the projects more. And that's the idea of the video. So if you will watch it, you'll be able to do way better, and everybody will choose your product or like your house or your like design compared to other products that are on the market, or it will be like way easier to do so on their behalf because they already like it, you know. And it's not about like expensive things. It's not about like some fancy things. It's about just nailing the ratios because we are genetically engineered to respond to things, you know. So you might think you have ideas and it's great, but I'm saying if something is proven for like thousands of years, we should use it. I give myself a task. I give myself the task of the following, like to put like sculptures that I mainly consider like a kitsch. But I wanted to see if I get away, like to put sculptures in a garden with bushes using the golden ratio. And I wanted to say achieve something that looks like all money. I just put sculptures and bushes, nothing else, and I kept the golden ratio. That's it. So nothing else. And look, I think it was like kind of good result. So it's not like the worst, it's not the best, but at least it's not looking like really, really bad. And usually things kind of look like that. How we should do it. So what's the math behind? For example, you want to design a furniture or like a house or like a phone. Let's take my phone for example. So here's the phone. And sure, it has a ratio in it, you know, and it might look pleasing to the eye and it might have a function because you can't make it wider or longer because we have like things to follow. But anyways, I will keep it to the example. So it might be a furniture or like anything you want. So after the golden ratio, let's say if that it's 1, like 1 inch or 1 centimeter, 1 meter, doesn't matter, that should be 1.62. So 1.6, something like that, like almost, you know. And the idea is usually that looks the most pleasing for the eye. I don't know why, maybe I know, but it doesn't matter. The idea is we should stick to the rule first. And sure, we can go away and we can use like other rules like the Fibonacci sequence and all of that, but I want to make an experiment. Don't think about it, don't judge it. Just try to use that rule. When you make your design, make a little like search after the golden ratio, like how it looks on pictures, how it looks in 3D in design, and start to make a project with two versions. Like one, first, you make, let's say you open Photoshop, something like that, or like the tools that you're working with, you start to implement the golden ratio rule. So you keep the same elements that you have and you make another version, you know, and you reorganize the same exact things, but use not a lot, but a little bit of golden ratio in it here and there. And afterwards, you should speed test it and you will see that, let's say from 100, 200, 300 views or 300 interactions, probably the odds are the one that you implemented the golden ratio. And that's the idea here. That's why I made this project, because I just wanted to see like a kitsch, because the project is kind of a kitsch. Can it get away with it? You know, can it get away like the sculptures in the middle of nowhere with the bushes looking like kind of old money? And it kind of looks old money because it has the ratio, so it has taste. It's not like you just put their sculptures and let the chips where may fall, you know. So it actually has a ratio and it looks at least decent. And I'm telling again, I spent mostly like 2 minutes to design the whole thing, except the house because the house took more. But the house, it's a golden ratio, like 101, like almost everything in it, it's a golden ratio. compared to other parts of the house. Let's design a house that looks good. And that took me maybe 2 afternoons, something like that. And if you check it, it's looking good. And it's not about me, it's not the design. It's like trust the process, you know. When you know something it works, use it. You see probably not hundreds, but like thousands of little houses on Pinterest and here and there. And probably some of them use it, some of them don't. But even I have like probably hundreds and hundreds of coincidences in my house that's like a golden ratio compared like one edge or like one window or like one something. It's like in a golden ratio compared to other part of the house, you know. However, it doesn't look like it's a copy paste project because it's new, it's your project. So it's not like you're copying something, it's like using something as a tool. You never seen that house again because it looks totally different than all of the houses you see, you know, like with the little houses. I can be like a proud designer or like a proud architect or like a proud woodworker here, but it doesn't matter. The idea is you can't fail it. So use it and use it wisely. If the lines, let's say you have just like a 3D something, and if it's not looking, not 3D, but if the ratio is not looking good, and I'm meaning ratio like that one, you know, you have up and left, you know, and if that ratio is not looking good, afterwards you can put whatever color you want. You can make fancy, you can make shiny, you can use AI on it, you can do no matter what. It won't look that great if you nail the proportions well at first. Because think about something. If you put a picture in black and white, or like where you like it, or let's say like the Porsche cars, you know, like I think the Porsche 911 is one of the most beautiful things that humankind ever designed. And if you put in black and white, and if you just draw the contours, everybody will agree. Probably even persons from the Ice Age would agree they like it because they have that proportions. And we shouldn't think about texture first. You shouldn't think about everything but just the ratio, like 3 dimensions, you know, length, width, and height. And afterwards, when you have that proportion right, afterwards you start to think about like the textures, the colors, you know, the contrast, you know. But first, just think about the shape. If the height in some proportion with the length, does it look good? And I give you like a task to do because if you design something and you're like good and you can make it, you can put it in 3D. I challenge you to put something that you design, put in a 3D program and start to look around it, you know, because when you draw something and you have an idea, probably it will look really good from one position. And when you're thinking about it, you think it in one position. But if you start to move like 10 degrees here, 10 degrees there, will it look good? And I challenge you every time when you design something, don't put on the colors. Just keep it like white, simple white, or like gray, or whatever. Yeah, put it in gray. And if you don't like it with like a white background, a gray object, that means you don't like it. And play with it till you like the shape of it, you know, be it whatever. Again, it can be real estate, furniture, do-it-yourself self projects, tables that we do it here on the channel, a lot of them. And if you don't like it in black and white, then don't continue, you know, because you're not there. Or put it great. Put it in a gray background, a gray object, because that's the most boring thing. And even so, if it's not popping up there and it's not like, whoa, I like it, then the object, no matter what you do, it won't be like a home run. It will be okay, best case scenario, but I challenge you to do so. And I don't tell you like to always use the golden ratio. I'm just telling you when you design the furniture or the house or like the object that you're doing, just think about not even a shape. Just think about ratios. Think about nature, you know, like functions. And afterwards, when you really like the shape from every position and you start to rotate it, probably you might use SketchUp, that's a free program, or like other programs to design it. Maybe it will take you an hour to learn it, but afterwards, like 2 hours maximum, you will start to really fear the things and it will sell. But why not to take the effort to like learn, let's say, a program like an architecture program in like an hour or like 2 hours, because it shouldn't take more. And I'm not telling you to be like a professional. I'm not telling you to like play with the colors or like rendering and something. No, just put it in black and white. And if black and white is good, then probably you will get away with anything afterwards. You will get away with cheap materials. You will get away with like bad craftsmanship. You will get away because nobody will see in your woodworking projects, for example, that it has a small crack, and probably nobody will ever care. Like, I don't want to be like mean or something like, but imagine like a housewife that never ever went in the workshop. She will judge you that, I don't know, something like the varnishing is like not the most perfect. No, she will have absolutely no idea. But she will say, "Oh, it's lovely, I like it." But she wouldn't know why, because she's a woman and she will be full of emotions. And that's why we're here to make them feel that way. So again, please first play with the 3D in not even black and white, on a gray background with a gray image. Because if you make that to really, really pop and you will say, oh, that looks, even so it's gray, even the background gray, then probably you will get away with bad workmanship, you will get away with like not the best textures, you will get away with cheap materials, and even so, everybody will say, "Oh yeah, that's classy. Oh, that looks great." Because look at these videos. The videos are like, I didn't kill myself back then when I did the project, so I'm telling you, I made just like I set the house, the whole like drawing maybe took me like under 5 minutes, like 10 minutes maximum, maybe with pauses. But even so, the rendering is not like the best. I didn't put the textures like the best on the. I didn't put like the maximum render capabilities, but even so, it kind of looks good. And even that, like even this way, probably persons will say, "Ah, Jot is like a person to trust to make our garden look like fancy, because at least it won't be a kitchen." And probably who wants to and probably who has like really really much money, like old money, probably they will hire me instead of the other person, because they will know at least I'm not ruining their garden. At least they won't look like a new rich person who wants to look something that they are not. And I'm not telling about me, I'm just telling first you need to learn the rules. I'm talking about me applying a 2 minute simple rule to not ruin something. Like with medicine, you have to heal first, not to kill first, then to heal. So that was today's video, and I hope it will help in your woodworking projects or in your like architectural things or furniture making or do-it-yourself projects. So that was today's video, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. So bye bye.